to share some story of how I pivot from fashion designer to the UX designer, and how I started that journey and why I did that. I have been fashion designer for, I'd say, past 18 years. I have worked on many different collections, and during that time, I did enjoy, designing clothes, like talking to manufacturers, collaborating with your coworkers, creating beautiful line. Like I did enjoy like most of those parts, but once I became a mom, like I just started questioning that work hours, how much it's kind of constrained to like the office environment was a deal killer for me, because all of you guys must know, being mom, like you have to have like wear so many hats, and you have to be able to present yourself like during the work hours, and if your daughter needs to go like dentist or something, it's really hard if you're just working from the office. So that's when I saw like the UX designer one day like on a social media feed, and I was like, huh, like what is that? Like maybe I'll give a try. So that's when I started my journey. There are a lot of different the boot camp that you can experience, such as Career Foundry, Springboard, Google certificates. Like there's many others, and most of these cost from like, I don't know, like maybe 1,600 to 12,000, like depend on which course that you might take, and it takes about 6 months to 9 months. Like some are probably less, like maybe 3 months, something like that. So it's like a much less commitment. Let's say if you were to going back to college, and take some courses for another 4 years or something like that. And the qualification and relevant skills that you use for UX design and fashion design, there are a lot of similarities, like such as both of the environments requires working in a team, and your communication skills are very important, because when you're in the fashion, you often talk to pattern makers, right? And oversee manufacturer as well. So your communication has to be on point to relay your designs. Same thing goes to UX design too. Like when you are talking to your PM, product manager, and the devs, like the communication skill has to be highly like elaborated, because you really have to talk about ins and out of like the project, and you have to communicate with many different people, such as accessibility, content engineers, business, and you have to precisely able to present like your ideas and design to stakeholder as well. So that's the skill. If you're a fashion designer, then you already have that skills honed in, and like you make tech pack and design, so you already know how to kind of make your idea into visualize as well. It's like a different bite also. Instead of like sketching camisoles or dresses or pants or what's not and doing the spec, you're gonna really visualize like the new apps and flows, and how customers sees like this end to end like journey of like the product, right? Let's say if you're gonna check out like these shoes, like what are these things that consist of and things like that. So that's another thing. And there's like many other overlapping like the skills that you can transfer a lot from fashion design to UX design. So that was the reason I picked this occupation. And also um, UX design, you could also work for much more bigger segments of like the workforce, I would say, because UX design, you could work for like higher education, you could work for health tech, for something related with like maybe wearable tech or diabetes, or hospitals, healthcare workers setting in those kind of apps, insurance app. You can work in a financial, you can also work in like fashion. If you wanted to do UX, there's a lot of fashion too that you already have all those knowledge. Why not? And there's like other segments as well, as like the ed tech, like education technology, There's like Amazon, Airbnb, like all those big guys, you know. So there's like an unlimited of space that you could try yourself and your skills. And that was also another thing that was very appealing to me. Um, and yeah, and then this is like if you wanted to take look at my portfolio, this is like a different project I did. So it's important to try different project and freelance possibly before you start applying for the job. So you have like a different type of like experiences and all that. So if you look at these are like the flow chart of like like the how websites are organized in the structure. These are when you interview like the users, what kind of type of key takeaway that you got out of there, empathy maps and personas. I'm going like fast. I can explain these in a later chapter, but these are wireframes. And again, like you probably have designed graphic too, so if you know like all these graphic and visual skills, making these wireframe isn't so difficult task for you because Figma is pretty like relevant to Adobe Illustrators and Photoshop. If you already know how to use those application, like it comes quite naturally. And then I mean there's auto layouts and components and variable like that you have to run, but there's like YouTube these days. It's pretty self-explanatory that you can run on your own. So and I picked this UX design because I could also impact for many other industries and segments, and then I can be helpful for that. Versus fashion design is maybe the best I could do is like make some sustainable clothing line, right? To help like the environment cause and things like that. So there's like many reasons, but these are a few focal points why and how I pivoted. Not to mention one other one that I forgot to mention is the salary, like the fashion design salary versus UX design salary. Like I myself gave myself like the raise of 1.5 times of the salary I was earning in the fashion from the beginning. So that's like another definitely plus point I would consider. And like many UX design jobs are remote. That means you can work from your comfort, from your home. You can be available for your kids. Like, when the kids have like school events, you can be there for them, and comparable to fashion designs perks, like UX designs perks are extremely better in terms of PTOs, like the retirement fund. My company pays for like the pets insurance. We have really great 403b, like the equivalent to 401k, with a significant amount of matching. And we do have like almost 4 weeks of PTO, 2 weeks of sick days, and we are closed for like 1 week around the Christmas. So like I was very used to cutthroat way of working in fashion, but in the UX you have like a lot more time, so you can have definitely achieve lifestyle of having like life and work balances. So if you wanted to know more about like before you jump in, like you can always contact me at applesky APPLESKYY at hotmail.com, or you can reach me out any other social media platform. Thank you.